where he was welcomed by thousands of his supporters. The First Lady appealed to the people of Kayunga to vote for NRM for continued peace, stability and development.
And remember, NRM and what it has done for Uganda. The peace we see in this country was brought about by the sweat and blood of the NRM leaders and those who were willing to fight under God's hand to bring peace in Uganda.
President Museveni, in his address, assured the people of Kayunga district that no one has the powers to evict them from their land, especially from absentee landlords.
Twakikolako omusiye abaali batuvuganya baali baagala okulekera obuyinza ab'amataka nti be babasalawo ensonga z'abasenze ne tugamba nti nedda tolina era ekiragiro bwe kigamba tolina buyinza kugoba ow'ekibanja ku ttaka lye tolina buyinza.
He tasked the NRM leaders to intervene and help sensitize locals on land laws, saying this would help in fighting land wrangles in the country, accusing the Mukono woman MP Betty Namboze for misleading the people.
Mbiragiro mundaga ekiragiro omusenze ow'ekibanja wakirizibwa okugoba ow'ettaka ow'ekibanja mukindage ani akirina. Twakisiba kyonna buno obuntu bwa opposition nga akakazi kali eyo nani Mukono bakayita Namboze bwali awo ettaka lya Buganda be baali baagala nti mugende musome ababaka ba parliament ba NRM mujeyo Hansard okuteesa okwali mu parliament bwetwali ku kiteeso ky'ettaka ani yali ayogala atya.
President Museveni, however, urged the residents of Kayunga district to prioritize wealth creation at household level, saying that while government-led development is important, individual income generation is key to overcoming poverty.
Natandika omulimu ekazi 4 alina emwanyi ebibala ebitooke alina embizi naye embizi agaba bugabi alina ente z'amata naye kati ekibalo kyatuwadde awadde ebibalo byonna naye kyenyuzigyemu ge magi buli lunaku afuna trades 32 omwezi n'ajja miliyoni 18.
District leaders commended Museveni's administration for transforming Kayunga.
The population of this area has grown tremendously on account of immunization and the health facilities we have. In Kayunga, we have a regional referral hospital. We have 3 health center 3s in each sub-county, so access to health services is actually readily available. Secondly, the road infrastructure. I'm sure you must have seen. We have tarmac roads, which you cannot even see in Kampala. We have schools. All the schools have been rehabilitated, so children have access to education in this area. We have electricity in almost all the villages except a few.
Tomorrow, on Saturday, NRM presidential candidate will campaign in Buvuma and Buikwe districts. Philip Aguta for UBC News in Kayunga.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has rallied the youth in Uganda to always interest themselves in their community's development and decision-making processes, other than spending most of their time bragging around, blinded by lifestyle and modernity.
National Resistance Movement NRM's message of protecting the gains has reached Greater Mukono, with Mukono District hosting the Friday 2nd January 2026 rally. While in Mukono, the NRM presidential candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni received an endorsement reception at St. Joseph's Primary School grounds in Nagalama.
Ono ye mukono gwe bakugambanga mu mukono takwagala tata mukono wuyo akwagala ensi n'ensi ez'okwaniriza buli omu musanyufu.
The No Change Ground team in Mukono was led by the first National Vice Chairperson Alhaji Moses Chigongo, the second National Vice Chairperson Anita Ntamong, and Audrey Kobusinje.
Abantu be Mukono tuzze kubasaba kalulu bukatuwe munakatuwa.
Mukono was among the hostile districts towards the NRM party in the past general elections.
In the last term, Mukono did not have a member of parliament. So there was no representation in parliament. And now, from the time those of Honorable Chivule left parliament, Mukono left orphaned.
In a nutshell, Anita Amongo's speech had no romance for the opposition in Mukono, with Honorable Betty Nambos of Achireke not being spared.
Your Excellency, out of your good heart, I want to thank you so much for giving me permission to give Honorable Nambos money for treatment. When Honorable Nambos said she was sick, you allowed me to give her almost 1 billion shillings. And you sent her for treatment to New York, where she went with her husband and her house girl. Even after Honorable Nambos abusing you day in, day out on radios, on television, everywhere.
Ate twabaweereza obuyinza okwerondera bannampala bamwe okwerondera bannampala abanalabirira ebyammwe.
This trend, according to the party, has since shifted due to the improvement in service delivery, coupled by animate promises by the opposition leaders in the area.
Era mukama wange obungi bw'abantu bano abazze ke kabonero akalaga nti bannamukono ku mulundi guno bannyonnyoddwa bulungi NRM biki byekoze.
N'olwekyo muwagire NRM mugende mu maaso n'okuwagira tunyweze eddembe eririwo n'enkulaakulana eriwo muleme okuzanyira ku nsi yammwe na bano bakazanyirizi bano.
The Mukono rally also received the campaign message of the First Lady, Janet Kataha Museveni.
Nebalabye Mukono naye ate njagala kubajjukiza nti rally yokka temala. Nga Muzeeyi Kigongo bw'agambye twagala obululu mwena muteekwa okujjukira ekyo olunaku lwa 15 omwezi guno mwetuukire wali buli omu kinoomu mukuba akalulu ka NRM mukubire Muzeeyi akalulu banange muganye kwerabira emirimu gye gyakoze n'eggwanga lino weruvudde.
During his campaign in Mukono, President Museveni has pledged to upgrade infrastructure, construct more government schools, hospitals, and improve water and electricity connections.
Omuntu chairman wayogedde ekyo kirooto kyaffe ayogedde oluguudo olunaava awantu ne lugenda zirowe. Enguudo ezo ziri mu ntegeka kubanga twetaaga enguudo ezina avoid Kampala.
However, according to Mr. Museveni, kicking poverty out of homesteads should be everyone's responsibility.
Nga jjajja wamwe singa politician naye ku lw'obulungi bw'amaka gammwe buli omu abeewo kyakola ogoba obwavu mu maka ge.
Robert Onyango, UBC News.
The Forum for Democratic Change presidential candidate Nathan Nandala Mafabi has promised to revive Kakumiro Cooperative Growers Union to support farmers to get affordable credit and market for their produce. While visiting the dilapidated structures of the cooperative union in Kakumiro on his campaign rallies, Mr. Mafabi discovered that the cooperative has been mismanaged by individuals.
Kakumiro Cooperative Growers Union has faced challenges of mismanagement, financial difficulties, lack of capital, outdated infrastructure and obsolete machines which affected the processing of cash crops like coffee and cotton. While visiting the facility on his campaign trail, the Forum for Democratic Change FDC presidential candidate Nathan Nandala Mafabi discovered that the coffee had fermented and the facility was also being used for carpentry.
And see, we have come here. This should have been remaining as an area for coffee. But you can see there's a bakery there, there are beans there, there's a carpentry here, because they have been left to their hands. And it looks like now a few individuals who are even benefiting from it, not the entire farmers. That is why we are saying no, cooperative must be revived. And the Kakumiro is one of those which was one of the biggest cooperative union. If you it is brought here to the union, and the union's job is to market it on behalf of the farmer. That is what we call collective bargaining. That's why now the farmers have been left to individual, and that's why they're being cheated every now and then. You can see everything is for individual. Such a huge store having only a few bags of maize.
Mafabi was in Kakumiro, where he conducted a rally to popularize his manifesto at Karuguza town in Chibale district. Mafabi promised to give seed capital to all those operating small businesses if elected president in the January 2026 polls.
Kamavule manalende tumazeke milendo na siwa nooka. Akuwanu sichukumi kumacha, ayagalo tekeka 5 kuchukumi umwezo gumua. Atewe gulotandika kola chi ukusasula. Ne manalenda yajalwachi. Banka zandi yambi abana Uganda zona bazi kola chi bazi jawa bazi tonda. Katisa wazi na abana Uganda ne basikalirawo kuba boboka. Eyensonga chendo no wandu tubasaba. Mutuyambe mutuola kalulu kamemia kameka etami.
Residents in Karuguza town asked Mafabi on how he will address the issue of corruption, citing corruption among their local council leaders. Mafabi states that according to his manifesto, the plan is to increase salaries of public servants, attributing the corruption to the meager salaries. Some expressed unawareness of the real FDC political party, saying it is divided with 2 different symbols.
The National Resistance Movement NRM presidential candidate Yoweri Museveni is set to begin his campaign engagement in Kampala next week, beginning on 5th January 2026. Kampala Capital City Authority KCCA leadership, together with city leaders, have finalized arrangements to ensure smooth and guaranteed security for calm in the city.
Kampala Capital City Authority KCCA Executive Director Hajat Sharifa Buzechi has held a meeting with Kampala city leaders to harmonize preparations ahead of the upcoming National Resistance Movement NRM Party presidential candidates campaign. NRM Party presidential candidate Yoweri Museveni is expected to kick off his Kampala tour on January 5th, 2026.
Kutandika ne Monday zijja kubeera ng'ennaku z'omwezi 5 President wa Uganda, President w'eggwanga era flag bearer wa NRM Yoweri Kaguta Museveni Tibuhaburwa agenda kutandika Kampala era ng'agenda kutandikira mu division yaffe ey'e Rubaga.
Nkubiriza abalonda abantu bamanyi nti obukulembeze kusakira abantu na kuleeta development mu kitundu si kukaayanya gavumenti. Abantu bakyakolera ensobi nga balonda abantu balekerawo okulonda nti ono yagiye okuwakanya Museveni togenze muwakanya ogenze kuleeta development mu kitundu.
While addressing city leaders, the KCCA Executive Director, Hajat Sharifa Buzechi, appealed to all people in Kampala to follow electoral guidelines and avoid acts of provocation and intimidation. On a similar note, she revealed that KCCA's budget has been enhanced to 132 billion Uganda shillings, a move aimed at strengthening infrastructure development and improved service delivery in the city. The resident city commissioner for Kampala Central has issued a warning and called for restoration of order and adherence to the law during the electoral period.
Ageyo erina emitendera gyaki flag ebeera waggulu nga yeewuba ina kyetegeeza. Flaga tugissa wansi wakati ena kyekola ki kyetegeeza. Flaga eteekebwa wansi. Flaga nga bagijja esaluutingibwa. Kati flaga ng'omuntu oli patriotic enough ng'ayagala nsi yo okiteekotya ku kaabuyonjo. Flaga it is a symbol of a country. Erina kyeragibwa ekaddi eyambuka ddi ebeera ddi wakati bagizinga batya era ekuumibwa etya. Kati flaga bw'onoogikwata n'ogiteeka ku toyireti weziika wenyini ekisiyo ekimazeemu ki egundi. So ekintu kya flaga ekyo nkivumirira ne bw'aba Kyagulanyi yalabye nga kyekisinga omukolera n'abalina ne basobola ogibuuba naye tebalina amakulu ge bajja kufuna kubanga omukolo guba gufudde ogwaki ogwa Uganda flaga terina n'amakulu geekola ki geegatta koze badde.
The office of the national chairman of the NRM Secretariat have met and trained the NRM coordinators around the country who will later train polling agents on vote protection in the forthcoming elections.
For a long time, the opposition in Kampala here, there have been ballot stuffing. But this time, last year, 2021, they went further and printed their own fake ballot papers on Nkrumah Road. Then those were the 1 million.
Following the concern from the NRM's national presidential flag bearer, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, on the presidential vote rigging of the 2021 polls, the office of the national chairman, mandated to take the lead in the party's election, Friday met and trained the party's coordinators nationwide. The move is aimed at vote protection of the NRM's presidential votes slated for the 15th this month. While training them, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, warned the trainees about fronting double agents, saying the cause is to only protect the party's presidential vote.
Don't be a double agent on that day. On that day, tell these people we are putting on polling stations. Don't say, I'm an agent for the president, I'm also an agent for the flag bearer. You must make it very clear to them they are only going to be agents for the president.
Tayebwa further warned them about evoking violence during the exercise.
Tell our polling agents, don't go into fights. Some people who know they are going to lose will provoke you into fights so that the voting exercise at that polling station is cancelled. It's also a trick. Don't allow that to happen.
The chairperson of the national office of the NRM, Hajat Hadija Namialo, says the move is aimed at ensuring protection of the national chairman's vote.
Focus is on the polling stations, and we are going to have 2 people per polling station plus a backup, having an alternative. But all these 3 people will undergo the training.
The chairperson, NRM Electoral Commission, Dr. Tang Odoi, says the emphasis is put on hostile areas.
We're going to train our people to stand firm when they bring their gun illegally. Hajat, we must train these people separately. And if there's a way, when they are training, we can train them from the central area and have more impact on all the agents of the president.
Party colors are going to cause us confusion because that is how they will identify that this one is putting on red, so to yellow. No. That's illegal. Do not go to the polling station in what? Party colors. Do not allow anyone at the polling station in party colors.
In the presence of a security officer, nobody should be deterred from exercising his or her constitutional right. Where you detect that someone's right is being tampered with, like we've been told that some voters are intimidated, please, that is totally unacceptable. Approach the security officer and say, here there is an illegality.
We have seen him on his campaign. The moment it is 5:45, they bring him a note, okay? And he says the rest I will handle through media. Meaning he is following the road to the latter. The president is not breaking any single part of the law. And we want our campaign, our process, to follow the road to the latter.
Irene Faith Nantongo, Joseph Muyengo, UBC News.
Residents of Galidaya and Chivijo sub-county in Kakomero district have thanked the NRM government for allocating them land titles on land which they have been living as squatters for decades. And we will bring you that story in our subsequent bulletins. Now, Buganda Road Chief Magistrates Court, before Magistrate Winnie Nancha, Jatiko has charged and remanded to Luzira Government Prison the Executive Director, Center for Constitutional Governance, Sarah Biret. In court, Ms. Biret was charged with one count of unlawfully obtaining or disclosing the personal data.
For the 2 days she has been on remand following her arrest recently, the Executive Director for Center for Constitutional Governance, Sarah Birete, has been arraigned before Buganda Road Chief Magistrates Court. In court before Magistrate Winnie Nancha Jatiko, Sarah Birete was charged with one count of unlawfully obtaining or disclosing personal data. Birete pleaded not guilty to the alleged offense, although prosecution informed court that investigations are ongoing and asked court for more time. Birete applied for bail by presenting four sureties, who included Bayenja David, brother to the accused, and manager Power FM, Kiza Winfred, former MP Kasese, and a friend to the applicant, Sempala Judith Grace, former ambassador to US, and Othiono Joseph, a friend to the applicant. The defense assured the court that the accused will abide by the court's orders and bail conditions.
There is nothing the applicant could interfere with in any way. And this is an applicant who is entitled to benefit from the presumption of innocence and be permitted.
Although the prayers were made, prosecution, led by Joan Keko, asked court for more time to peruse through the documents presented by the accused's sureties.
We seek an adjournment, analyze the application, and make a befitting response.
So it would be unfair for technical delays to compromise high-headed further. Therefore, Your Honor, we pray that the objections are overruled, but if the court is so inclined, we concede to this matter being stood over up to 3 p.m. for the state to respond and for the court to determine the...
Magistrate Winnie Nancha Jatiko adjourned the case to 21st January 2026, when prosecution applied to her bail application.
Prosecution too deserves a right to make a reply to the bail application, this being a case that has been brought to court by them. Prosecution is granted time to prepare a reply to this application. The accused person will be kept on remand till then.
The accused, Sarah Birete, was remanded to Luzira Government Prison. Lawyers to the accused were not pleased with the court ruling.
And therefore, as far as we are concerned, our client, Dr. Sarah Birete, has been sentenced to 20 days of imprisonment. We cannot call this ordinary remand. This is a sentence that does not involve due process. Our client has been sentenced to 20 days imprisonment.
Among those who were at court was the Vice President, Uganda Law Society, Anthony Asimwe, Miriam Matembe, and others, who expressed dismay over how court has handled this case.
I must say we are very disappointed in the judiciary itself. Judicial officers are lawyers like us, but the fact that judicial officers are being used to abuse the rights of citizens is so absurd, and it's a shame to all of us. We need to do better. As the National Bar Association, we really condemn that in the strongest terms possible.
If I'm in a court seated there to judge justly and fairly, and somebody applies for bail, and the one who is accusing does not say, I object. Now me as a judge, how do I rule and reject?
But you all know that this information is public. Usually the Electoral Commission gives all political parties the voters register, and therefore it becomes a public document.
Lawyer, activist, and head Center for Constitutional Governance, Sarah Bilete, was arrested on 31st December 2025 from her home situated in Chiwongo, Namazi, in Mukono district. Since then, she has been on remand until this Friday, when she was brought to court. Deborah Namamonde, Viola Nance Subuga, UBC News.
Now, Special Presidential Assistant in charge of communication at State House, and Gumisiriza Jeremiah, has advised vendors of Kayunga Daily Market in Wakiso Town Council to fully embrace government wealth creation programs to improve their livelihoods and job creation.
Delivered the fulfillment of a pledge of 10 million shillings.
Gumisiriza said that through the Kayunga Daily Market Vendors Circle, members are well positioned to benefit from programs such as Emyoga, the parish development model, and skilling hubs, which offer low interest loans and skills for self-employment.
When we did the assessment, we realized that they are back on track and they are ready to use the money. And therefore we delivered the same message to His Excellency the President, who responded positively by fulfilling his pledge.
He noted that accessing these programs enables vendors to expand their businesses and employ others. He emphasized that the funds were not a bribe, but a fulfillment of the President's pledge, noting that the circle had recovered from COVID-19 challenges and was now ready to utilize the money.
I have today handed it over to the vendors in the presence of all members. The treasurer has received it. The mayor of Wakiso Town Council, he has been very, very instrumental in reminding us and reminding His Excellency the President to.
Gumisiriza encouraged vendors to take advantage of the prevailing peace and security to stabilize and grow their businesses, and urged them to remain patriotic by freely flying the national flag.
As long as they are not destroying it, they are not disrespecting it by putting it on the ground, they are not burning it, they are not tearing it, they are free to use it to express their love to their country. This fear that if you hold the flag you will be earmarked as an opposition supporter should not be encouraged at all, and those people in government who are trying to advance that fear should stop it.
Wakiso Town Council Mayor Fredson Mukalazi and NRM Vice Chairperson Pade Mutume thanked the President for honoring his pledge, and he called on vendors to use the funds wisely.
So grateful because the President in 2015 pledged 10 million to this Kayunga Central Daily Market. But now he has fulfilled his promise.
Circle Treasurer Hamida Nabunya expressed gratitude but appealed for additional support due to increased membership and COVID-19 losses. The event was attended by local leaders and NRM candidates seeking elective positions in Wakiso. Tanawa Kenneth compiled this report for UBC News.
In Buvuma, President Museveni has directed compensation to the over 1,000 residents of national oil project affected persons in Buvuma. This was revealed during a meeting between the affected persons, officials from the State House, the Ministry of Lands, the Ministry of Agriculture, and Operation Wealth Creation in Buvuma.
At least 1,539 project-affected persons lost over 1,200 hectares of land for the national oil project in Buvuma that was introduced to boost Uganda's edible oil production over a decade ago. During the land acquisition process, some residents of Buvuma Island were not compensated. Residents from 7 villages of Buvuma Island cry delayed compensation of their land. Shillings 14 billion has been approved according to the meeting held with officials from the Operation Wealth Creation, State House, Minister of Lands and Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industries and Fisheries.
The oral of presidential directives must be strictly applied.
The officials told residents that President Museveni directed the compensation.
Indeed, he directed that these people get paid, especially the 400 people who are in court. I believe that the Ministry of Agriculture will not and cannot defy the presidential directive and will pay first the people who are in court, the beneficiaries of the 28 billion that the president directed, though 14 billion so far is what has been released by finance.
Project implementers say the company will focus on operational activities as compensation goes on. District officials have also pledged to ensure that verified beneficiaries are compensated. The affected sub-counties include Busamuzi, Buvuma Town Council, Nairambi and Buwoya. Susan Naonga reporting for ABC TV.
Education Ministry Permanent Secretary Dr. Kedris Teriagenda says parents are very vital in actively shaping core competencies and skills critical in raising a holistic and well-rounded child. And as children are at home for the long school holidays, nurturing life skills and values during the holiday season matters more than ever.
Academic learning often takes a center stage.
1, 2, 3.
Essential life skills and values usually end up not receiving the attention they deserve.
The curriculum puts, especially the revised curriculum, it puts bits on how to get values. But you know, when you are in the school environment, it's as if you are learning to reproduce. And yet values are picked. It's not something you put in someone's mind. Be honest, no. It's something that you pick as you are a child, and then they bring 6 cakes and you are 6, and you pick 2, and then you are told, no, that's not being considerate.
With children spending more time at home during the holidays, parents are uniquely positioned to model positive behavior. To amplify the message, Uwezo Uganda, working closely with partners, had an engagement with parents in communities in 6 selected districts between May and August 2025 in Oyam, Shema, Kanungu, among others. Engagements conducted have yielded positive results. Parents who reportedly used to be harsh when talking to their children have now adopted friendlier approaches, and the children now have self-drive in completing home tasks with minimal supervision.
What I gained, I had kids, but I was not approaching them. They have been in school. When he comes, he goes to TV. I don't care, but now when I started, I got a reason how to be with them, even to go to the village, because they have been in school. After in school, we come in town, so they have not been in village to see what is going on. And omuchumure chinjireyo nabo for almost 2 weeks. Na bayinarebe bakora abamwe bayiga kuhata bayiga kuteka.
Hati nkukurugera nko kutushomire yanaze hamusira nagenda n'umwana akibarinka yo mukuteka banayenda ngo ayigese umwana akireka TV kaba kake mbwene shireta improvement omubantu ahabwo mushomo ogutwashomera.
These outcomes suggest that community-based parental engagement can play a critical role in strengthening life skills and values development, laying a stronger foundation for children's growth and future success.
Right now, I spend most of the time with my dad. I know how he operates business. I know the way I'm supposed to behave with, how to deal with a customer. I know how to approach different people. Basically, I've learned many things from him. And that is how the parent-child relationship has grown very strong, not like other days before.
Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
In the area of community e-learning, the Madada Foundation, in partnership with the British Council, has organized community entrepreneurship electronic learning that will help to empower community members in business skills and create employment opportunities for sustainable development. Honorable Chebakoze Suleiman Madada, the former Minister of Elderly, also Kayunga District Chairperson for older persons, urged members of the public to embrace such developmental programs to eradicate poverty in Kayunga.
But part of GROPA, which is organizing mobilization of the elderly to participate in the political, social, and economic programs that are taking place. Now that we are going for election, we think that we can be a good resource to bring politics of sanity. This is why we are mobilizing elders at the structures already created by NRM government to be part of those who will be counseling leaders, including the youth, to vote wisely. And we should not really bring a lot of conflicts. We should also take a lead role in the post-election conflict resolutions. But we want to appeal to our candidates, including His Excellency the President of Uganda, to consider seriously using the elderly, the older persons, to ensure that they participate and contribute to good political elections.
Certify you, you will be accredited and you will be court annexed. Nebo banga tokoledde mu koti nawaka wennyini ku kyalo okolerawo.
Tuli mu kalulu ka president.
The program has met our expectations in that it has been able to give us business.
They gave us a contract where we did a renovation at their head office.
MTN trained us in their procurement process and also the IT technology.
I was struggling with managing the finances of the company. So when I went for that training, I was able to improve in financial literacy and management.
Are you a female entrepreneur looking to do business with MTN? Log on to www.mtn.co.ug/AWE. Together, our progress is unstoppable.
Kabogos, where are you coming from?
From NSSF.
NSSF? You traveled all the way from Namaguli to get NSSF services. Lekanawe. You walk on the air. NSSF is now everywhere. Come on, I show you. You can register for NSSF. I'll contribute to your Simade life. Now deep down in the Barada. Make NSSF payments. No wahala okubeka langala. NSSF sure is not far. But this tomorrow kuhika gotido. Enjoy NSSF from where you are.
Access NSSF service heads right where you live. With over 20,000 quick teller agents across Uganda, now you can conveniently register yourself, make NSSF payments and contributions to your Smart Life account, Jubira. NSSF, a better life.
This is our home, our land, our Uganda. From the rolling hills to the busy streets, from the farmers in the fields to the students in classrooms, we are one people. Elections are a time to choose our leaders, not to fight our brothers and sisters. When violence enters the ballot box, the future of our country is wounded. But when peace leads the way, our nation grows stronger. On election day, choose unity over diversion, respect over hatred, and dialogue over distraction. Love your country, protect your fellow citizens, stand for peace, and say no to electoral violence. This message is brought to you by the Global Election Observation Mission, GEOM, in partnership with the Uganda Electoral Commission. Informed citizens, strong nation.
Unisteel Investment Uganda Limited, shaping the future of steel in East Africa and beyond. With an investment of over $100 million and a production capacity of 300,000 metric tons per annum, Unisteel is setting new standards in steel manufacturing. At our state-of-art facility, we produce TMX rebars, branded Unis TMX 500 CWR, and high-quality wire rods using only imported virgin steel billets. Every batch is tested and tracked for unmatched quality assurance. Our steel powers the region's most ambitious projects, from dams, skyscrapers, to bridges and beyond. Unisteel, superior quality, trustworthy choice.
Starting with 100,000 shillings, you begin building real financial strength, because wealth doesn't just happen, you build it. And the ones who start early end up ahead. Every deposit, every month, every little increase. This is how your money grows into wealth. Put your money to work with the experts at SBG Securities. Partner with us today on your investment journey.
SBG Securities. Keep growing for you, for them, forever.
And into business across Africa, governments are encouraging more travel within the continent to boost tourism earnings and strengthening regional economies. Uganda is among the countries stepping up efforts, rolling out initiatives to expand partnerships and open up new markets.
In Johannesburg, Durban and Cape Town, Uganda's message has been clear. The future of African tourism depends on countries working together. In these rooms, different tour operators from Uganda are pitching to their counterparts in Southern Africa what Uganda has to offer. The words many are using to sell the pearl of Africa roll off their tongues with the conviction of an optimistic politician on a campaign trail.
So it's 7 days, and you can summarize in 5 days according to your fitness level. It's beautiful, you love it. You can combine.
But away from politics, this delegation is here to deepen cooperation and spark new interest in Uganda.
We can find a way of trimming an itinerary where a client can do South Africa and then also mix East Africa. Or we can do, sometimes clients start with East Africa and then come to South Africa.
The engagement is part of a broader push to grow African tourism markets and follows commitments made when President Museveni visited South Africa in 2023 at the invitation of President Ramaphosa.
As we speak, we have an elaborate
memorandum of understanding between the two countries, and what you see in this room is unpacking that document, that agreement, that MOU that our country signed. And we are very happy to see that we are taking the lead in walking the talk and ensuring that commitments that are made by governments to create an enabling environment for private people, for the industry to thrive in business, to open more opportunities, more investments, is what we shall focus on and is what we shall deliver under the economic and commercial diplomacy.
Uganda's pitch goes beyond promoting its attractions. It is urging African destinations to jointly market the continent rather than compete against one another.
It is only when we start working together that we shall realize the full potential of our continent. We want to position Africa as a single destination. It is the only way we are going to grow our tourism revenue, because, ladies and gentlemen, tourism revenue is a derivative of spend and stay. So for you as a DMC, as a tour operator, as a travel agent, if you can, the longer the itinerary, the more your client is going to spend in the country, the more revenue for you. You can only extend the itinerary and give people a good experience if you have a varied product.
For many South African tour operators, this engagement provided a fresh understanding of Uganda.
We've had the South African trade come to meet with the Ugandan tour operators and learn so much. At the end of every day, people come to me and tell me how much they've learned about Uganda and how badly they want to come and visit. I think this has been a wonderful opportunity for us to collaborate and make partnerships that are going to last forever.
And that interest has quickly turned into enthusiasm.
So some of them were inquisitive to know about Uganda, and this was a very good opportunity for them to get first-hand information from us, the local operators.
So how do we scale up the capacities that we have so that we can offer a holistic approach of a safari experience that is authentic and organic? So this roadshow has been amazing. I just want to thank Uganda Tourism Board for this opportunity. I just want to thank AfriReps. I also want to thank the Ugandan Embassy for giving us all this opportunity to be a part of this great experience.
There are already signs of what collaboration can achieve, including joint tourism experiences and events. On their part, the South African tour operators we spoke to expressed optimism about exploring Uganda further and actively selling the destination.
I do wine tourism. We're even excited about bringing good wine, premium wines to Uganda and having those exchanges. It's not about taking groups to Uganda, but it's about a cultural exchange that positions Africa as the destination of choice even for Africa.
It may be a well-repeated line, but it still carries weight. Tourism remains one of Uganda's biggest economic lifelines. Initiatives like these are expected to bring in more African travelers and deepen the sector's contribution to the economy.
And into sports, the NRM flag bearer for Bukonzo County West constituency in Kasese District, Dr. Crispus Kiyonga, has encouraged the youth to embrace sports to gain fitness and as a source of money. Dr. Kiyonga said this while officiating as a chief guest at the sports tournament, which was organized by the youth in Bukonzo County West.
So now we're doing a sima, our certificate imperial, our Munawire, our certificate netball, Ngaba Sima, how we so give it your Kubanza, Wakami Wakai Watikaya, Evona will correct size, Wakai Watikaya, Iriwa near Omizibwa. A Betija Kavere, Wakavia, Eva the Muchiringa Somo. Kudia masata Mr. Kapson kwa namabua wao masata kwa mukandeke yuke ikahale mukanangira watu kanangira kwa TV awende ba multi millionaires o madola awe research
We are very happy to see that this time Chonga is promoting talent. I'd like to tell Ugandans and viewers of UBC that sports is one of the things that generates income in the country, and it's what Chonga is doing through his sons like Papa Machozi, Papa Amisi, I myself, Coach Konda, and there are a lot of youth. If you see at the playground, they are like a total number of 40,000 people around. So they have all come to witness Chionga tournament. And I'd like to request all people from Kasese and around Uganda, come 15th, let's vote President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, Dr. Crispus Chionga, and the bus.
I'm very pleased to see such an amazing tournament. In fact, it's the first amazing tournament in the Bukonzo West constituency. We are very happy because we have been lacking this. We have been telling our honorable to do this wonder for us, and indeed he had our request and he has done it. So I'm very happy.
That's all we had time for. Thank you very much for sticking it with us. My name is Patricia Lokoma Mpango. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.